Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the most important thing the Clippers must focus on during this preseason. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to check out our Dreamerspro, be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro platform, premium platform that we're launching in the first week of January. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that, but be on the lookout for that because that's on its way. Anyway, so let me just get into the topic right here. Now, I've only seen one of the preseason games for the Clippers, and one of the first things that I noticed in that first preseason game was that, hey, listen, these guys were out there experimenting with Serge Ibaka in the starting lineup. It was something I had no idea, I didn't pay any attention to it. I didn't even think much of it, but I was surprised to see him start. And once I saw him start, I noticed a difference immediately to the team. The team had a different complexion on the court. Number one, now the team had more spacing and they had more shot blocking around the rim. Let me say this though, Ivica Zubac is a good rim protector. He's not the Dikembe Mutombo, but he's a good rim protector, and he gets blocks and he has very good hands. The only problem is a lot of the times when he gets bad passes from Lou Williams and all of that, then you have issues. That's the reason why Lou Williams is not the sole reason, but the Clippers had 21 turnovers in that first game. But it's a preseason game, so who really cares? You're still ironing out a lot of things. So I saw that they were experimenting with different lineups. Now, the funny thing that came out of that, or the notable thing that came out of that, was that head coach Tyronn Lue said, hey, listen, we're most likely going to start with Serge this season. And after he was asked by some reporters whether or not Serge Ibaka was going to be the starting center for the team, he said, yeah, we're thinking of going with Serge. Most likely Serge Ibaka is going to be the starting center, which I think is good because Serge Ibaka, number one, spaces the floor. He can hit the mid-range jumper. He can hit a three-pointer, so he stretches the floor, allows guys to be able to drive to the basket a little bit easier. But he can also roll to the basket, and he can shot block, and he plays great help defense. He can recover very well because he has some good lateral quickness. That's how he was, able to lead the league in blocks for two seasons in the NBA. That's what I believe. I think it was 2 seasons. I could be wrong, but I know he did it at least once. That's another thing. The other thing is that he also is a good scorer. He can average about 15 points per game. He had a career year last year with averaging over 15 points per game. So Serge was one of the new additions. Now, I noticed they didn't play with Montrezl Harrell. They may be trying out some things. I saw that they were experimenting with Luke Kennard, who they got from the Detroit Pistons, who was a 40% three-point shooter for the season last season. So I'm still watching him. Another thing it seems that they're focusing on is getting a defensive identity. That's something that head coach Tyronn Lue said, that we need to be very good on defense, and he mentioned some key names. Number one, he mentioned Kawhi Leonard spearheading that defense. He needs to start playing elite defense once again. Paul George is another one that needs to spearhead the defense, be one of their elite defenders. And, of course, Patrick Beverley, who is known to just play with a lot of intensity and, ferocity all the time that he plays. Sometimes he's a little bit out of control, gets himself into foul trouble, gets into like a tit for tat with other players, which is something that's not usually good sometimes. But his intensity and his effort is always usually there. Now, one of the things I think they need to focus on is they need to know who their closers are going to be going into this season. That needs to be very clear. I think they need to sort of decide that, given the fact that PG is not known for closing out games that well. I think they need to go a little bit more to Lou Williams a little bit more, but more focusing on focusing on Kawhi. But the number one thing I think the team needs to focus on is team chemistry, right? And chemistry, a lot of times we tend to, it seems to seem like a platitude. Yeah, let's focus on chemistry. But what does that actually mean when they say focus on chemistry? I believe that the chemistry that they need to focus on is on and off the court. On the court, it starts with having everyone available for training camp and going into a training camp healthy. Let me just recap last season. Last season, I don't know if you guys knew this, Paul George was not available for training camp because of shoulder surgery. Not only was he not available for the team's training camp, he missed the first 11 games of the regular season, right? You just got this huge piece that you're trying to implement into a team, and he's not even there for training camp. He's coming off an injury, And it seems that training camp is very important because that's where teams go over a lot of plays. They start learning defensive assignments. That's where you start learning about your teammates, because if you don't have a training camp, then in the regular season, you're trying to do all of this on the fly. And it's kind of hard because you have games, you have your personal life. Maybe some of these people are married, they have kids. So it's going to be really hard to kind of build that during the regular season unless it's something you are exclusively committed to. So Paul George was in there. Kawhi Leonard, who was available in the Hawaii training camp last season, but he didn't play. He didn't participate in any of the practices, which was something I didn't know, right? But this season, it seems to be the complete opposite. Their two best players are available for training camp. Another thing is the additions that they picked up last season, like Marcus Morris and others, these guys are going to be available for training camp going into the season. Marcus Morris was a mid-season acquisition last year, so it wasn't like as if he was with the team all year long. They brought him in, and he had to learn his role on that team on the fly. He had to learn, and it took him a while. You could see when he was playing early in the season, sometimes he was shooting too much, sometimes he was shooting too less, too little. And then as the season went on, he started to find his sort of niche within the team, and he found his role, and he played a very good role. That's why I was excited that they brought him back, because Marcus Morris put up great numbers last season. Even in the playoffs, he shot over 40% from the field, played great man-to-man defense, and I was very happy that they were able to bring him back and retain him on that team, because I think he was a difference maker. But chemistry also means happening off the court, right? Kawhi Leonard pointed to that, indicated that, hey, listen, we need to do a better job this season of being around each other more and hanging out and practicing with each other and just going to different places and maybe seeing a movie and going to dinner together. He said that's something he's going to make a concerted effort to do a little bit more of, which is very, 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 very important, because off the court, is when you're having, non-basketball conversations. You're just hanging out with the guys, getting to know people, laughing with them, and that's how people become more comfortable with you. So when you get on the court, if you have a spat, you know that it's just something on the court. It's nothing personal, but you guys are really cool. It's just that this is just basketball related. But if you're not really hanging out with your teammates and you have some disagreements on the court, then things can become a little bit awkward. Guys can become a little bit distant. And I think this is the number one thing, apart from learning plays, defensive assignments, learning how to deal with with zone defenses and all these different things. That's fine. These are the X and Y's of, like, this is the technical part of basketball, but there's the human aspect that needs to be worked upon. And I think they're already off to that start. I looked at Kawhi Leonard and these guys cheering on their teammates in the sideline, really being involved in plays. And that's what needs to happen, because you need to commit to your team. And that's something that LeBron James has always done. And this is what needs to happen for this team. Chemistry needs to be the number one focus. They have the talent. They have all of that is there. They have the coaching staff. They have the personnel. But they need to learn each other and become and really improve their chemistry. And I think it's going to help them all throughout the regular season. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me that they need to improve their chemistry and really, really focus on that, and everything else will come from that, and everything else will sort of fall in place? Or do you think they need to focus on another specific thing? Because whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll just give you guys one quick example, though, before I close. If you remember that Boston Celtics team that won the title the first year, Kevin Garnett said it. These guys, we were brothers. Everywhere we went together as a unit. And to this day, all of those guys are very, very close. And that's the bond that these Clippers need to make in order to go into this thing and win this title this year. So that's what I think. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.